What is collaborative divorce? Collaborative practice, by technical definition, is a voluntary dispute resolution process in which clients resolve disputes without resorting to any process in which a third party makes a decision that legally binds a client. What does this mean in plain English? Well, it means that you and your spouse are choosing to be in charge of your uncoupling rather than your lawyers, a court, an arbiter, or a judge. I'm AJ Skogerson at the Law Shop by Skogerson McGinn. I've been practicing law for the last 20 years, and today I can tell you that by far my favorite way to help folks through divorce is by utilizing the collaborative process. Buyer beware here, though. Many lawyers may claim to do collaborative divorce, but collaborative practice is not a marketing scheme. This is about much more than saying that you'll play nice or be cooperative. It requires formal training by the professionals involved, as well as a very real commitment on the part of the professionals to shift their own paradigm from a litigation mindset to a true, compassionate, problem-solving mindset. So let's talk about some of the key elements for what it really means to do a collaborative divorce. I'm just going to hit on three of the big ones. The first is you have a signed participation agreement. This is a written agreement signed by all the professionals on the team that you have chosen. This also is signed by the client, so you and your spouse. This agreement describes the nature and scope of your legal matter. It also includes conditions for when you might want to terminate the process should that need arise. But lastly, it includes a really important thing called a disqualification clause. And this clause says that all the professionals on your team, should you need to go to court for any reason, are out. And we might ask, well, why would that be? But why it is because we're trying to create an incredibly transparent and supportive environment, one in which we're not worried that gamesmanship is at hand or afoot. So I didn't mean to go hand or foot, but hey, it works. So I want to be able to sit with my own client as my client's collaborative attorney and be able to say to my client and my client's spouse, you will never see me in a courtroom against you. That's really valuable, a really valuable element to providing a safe space for this family. So the next thing is disclosure. In a traditional litigation style case, we often will send large packets of questions and requests for documentation, maybe do depositions, maybe we'd have court hearings, all of those things that are very expensive, very stressful. There's a lot that goes into those things. In the collaborative process, all that is out the window. Instead, we just do very, very clean. You ask for it, you receive it. That is the rule. The last thing I want to touch upon in the collaborative process is the team. So who is the team? Well, the team is you and your spouse, of course, the most important part of the team. Each of you then also would need a collaboratively trained attorney. Now this means 2 lawyers, not 1. If it's 1, that's not collaborative. A collaborative divorce process involves collaboratively trained attorneys for each of you so that you each have an advocate. There are also other people on the team typically, though, most commonly a financial specialist who is going to be often a certified divorce financial analyst, say that 5 times fast, which is someone who will help to work with you on what your assets and debts look like, as well as your cash flows, and help you to determine how you're going to do things once this divorce is over. And next would be a family coach, which is typically a mental health professional who is going to assist with any issues that there may be, whether it be things such as communication with one another or with the children, about the divorce, about life, about anything. Also developing a parenting plan, things of that nature. There also could potentially be a child specialist, maybe a business evaluator. There are lots of different people who could be involved, but your core team is typically going to be the 2 lawyers, a financial specialist, and a coach. So what does the process look like? It's fairly simple. A lot of meetings. Okay, maybe not a lot, but it's meetings. Really simple and straightforward. You would meet with your financial professional neutral when you need to, same as the coach, same as the lawyers. On occasion, we would have full team meetings where everyone is present so that we can do a check-in on things, see where we're at in the process, make sure that we're all tracking as we move forward. But really, we're just trying to get through those various issues that we need to in order to get you and your spouse through this process so that you can move on with your lives and hopefully in a positive way as positive co-parents and so forth. And so those meetings will typically have agendas beforehand, notes during, so that we are tracking well together. And when we're done, your collaborative lawyers are responsible for drafting all the necessary legal documents and getting those filed with the court. Last thing I'll touch on is just cost. I know that's a big concern for many of my own clients because it sounds very expensive to have numerous people on a team for your divorce. But believe it or not, the cost of collaborative actually tends to be similar to, or even sometimes less than, the traditional divorce process. That's because you have professionals who are each focused on you from a different lens. We're trying to help your family, and the lawyers are going to stay in their lane, just as the financial person and the coach are going to stay in their lanes. No one is doubling up on work, which is actually different than the formal traditional litigation process, because in that process, you have usually two lawyers who are the highest hourly rate people doing all of the work 2 times. So actually the collaborative process offers a cost advantage as well. But the best thing about collaborative divorce is it has the biggest promise from my experience of allowing you and your spouse to move forward with more creative solutions and in a more positive way. So to learn more about collaborative divorce, as well as other options that may be available for your family law matter, please visit www.lawshop.net and click on Get Started.